George A. Yeah, okay, whatever. George A. Freeland asks a great question. Culture of skill, colon, how? I've never heard that term before. I don't know if you coined it or not, George, but if you haven't, you should. It's a magnificent turn of phrase. Culture of skill. The second you said it, I knew exactly what you meant. I'm friends with guys like Burt Rutan and the whole crew up at X-Corps and a number of pilots, and a guy named Brent Regan who's an engineer and builds amazing things like Wave Runner. And anytime I see any kind of skill at all, I'm automatically just reduced to a place of great humility and joy. And I mean this from the bottom of my heart. That applies to skill in the janitorial arts. That applies to skill in fast food preparation, fast food restaurant management. Anybody who's good at anything, I like. I like that person. And I respect that person. I don't care what they believe. As long as they're good at what they do, that's an enormous part of what I think is important in life. So the culture of skill is a really interesting idea. I feel like we used to be a culture of skill, before everybody was special, back when you had to do something to become special, achieve something. Skill was necessary. We still have a culture of skill in terms of our sports. We worship inappropriately. I'm not one of these people who says it's wrong to worship sports people. No, they do something remarkable, beautiful, elegant, and it's fun watching humans perform at their limits. So we still have a culture of skill in professional sports. We like to watch amazing baseball plays and football plays and so on. But by and large, skill is falling by the wayside, and the idea of skill is falling by the wayside. And so the question really is culture of skill, how? How do we get back to that, I would imagine? And I think we've really lost our way with our education system. As Glenn Reynolds and others point out, our current education system was designed for second wave industrial era society where you need to create factory workers, basically. And so you want a standardized test, and you want everybody of the same age to take the same class, even though some people learn faster than others. We really should be grouping people according to ability and aptitude rather than age, but we do that. We group them according to ability and aptitude in sports, don't we? I mean, you look at a college football team, you've got freshmen, sophomores, juniors, and seniors. And they're all playing. The good guys are playing. The guys who are not so good aren't playing. This second wave kind of mechanized sort of education system has not served us well lately as we get into the information age. So I think the one thing that we probably need to do to get a culture of skill back would be to return, and quickly, to a system that actually works extraordinarily well. And that's the apprenticeship system. Too many syllables there, and I stumbled and fell. The beautiful thing about an apprenticeship system is you not only get the skill, you also get the attitude. You get the discipline. You get somebody who's watching you and making and teaching you why the easy way is not the way to do it. It gives you a sense not only of the actual skill set, but a sense of the ethics and the culture of the particular skill. Woodwork, for example. When you apprentice to a master, or even to somebody, just a shop foreman, somebody who knows what they're doing, but let's say it's a master. When you apprentice to them, you're not just learning physically how to do it, you're learning why and a lot of the deep stuff. And we've really gotten away from the apprenticeship system, and I think it's a great shame, because I think that's how skill is taught and respect for the trade is taught, and all these other things. And we certainly have grossly undervalued people who work with their hands in this country. They feed all of us, first of all, and they build the stuff that we live in and use. So I think this business of us, kind of looking at, university professors and politicians and stuff as, or even business executives as, the kind of cognitive elite is a big problem. The bell curve talks about this quite a bit in terms of the danger of separating the cognitive elite and getting them out of society and putting them in a little bubble on their own. All of these jobs are important. Business managers are important too, obviously. But I think a culture of skill is a lovely expression, and I'd like to see us get back to that. And I think the answer is apprenticeship. And things like internship are kind of interesting. I know the left hates this because you're using people who aren't getting paid or not paid minimum wage. But what an internship is, I got my first job as an intern, and my entire career is a result of an intern. I worked at the planetarium for free for 3-4 weeks before they started paying me, out of sympathy, really, more than anything. But if I hadn't worked as an usher in the Miami Planetarium and cleaned up vomit and taken tickets and shown people to seats with a red flashlight, then I wouldn't have had a chance to write those planetarium shows or to do those star lectures in front of 300 people when I was 14 or something like that. Speaking to crowds of people at night or in a dark room, talking about the constellations, that's a skill set. And writing planetarium shows is a skill set, and those have served me well over the years. So I got that through apprenticeship, through being the bottom. I was the bottom. That's how you should start. It's appropriate. And the more of the bottom of the stack you come in on, the better you'll understand the system. That's why the idea of a person who's promoted from the mailroom as a mail boy all the way up to the company president is actually a very good model. It's a guy who understands everything about the company. That's exactly what you want. You want a general manager. You have specific business guys. Those are appropriate too, but that kind of 30,000-foot view is important. Anyway, that's a great question, so thanks very much, George.